Banker-customer relationship is defined in KYC policy. Banker-customer relationship is defined in banking, and the customer definition of the customer is given in KYC policy. A customer is defined as a person or entity that maintains an account or has a business relationship with the bank. So, one or whose behalf the account is maintained, that is called the beneficiary owner. Beneficiary owner. Beneficiaries of transaction conducted by professional intermediaries, stockbrokers, chartered accountants, solicitors are permitted under this law. Any person or entity connected with the financial transaction which can pose the significant reputational and other risk of the bank, say the wire transfer, etc. That also we can say that those who are entering in a bank for any purpose or any business transaction, that we can call them as customers. Sometimes we will call them that walk-in customer. Sometimes we will call them as walk-in customer. So banker-customer relationship in detail, when we are discussing it in detail, we can say that deposit accounts, the bank is the debtor and customer is the creditor. Money is belonging to the customer. So we are borrowing funds from these customers and we are keeping it as deposits and we are giving interest to the customer depending upon the various schemes. And OD, CC, in these loans, etc., bank is the creditor and customer is the debtor. Customer is the principal. Bank is the creditor. So, bank is the creditor, customer is the debtor. When we are collecting of checks, we can say that we are collecting of checks, we are as the agent of the principal and they are principal and we are agents. Then in different types of relationship between the customer. So we are purchasing or we are selling shares, bonds, etc. for the customer. That is, as agent we are doing all these activities. They are the principal. Then draft. When the purchaser of a draft is coming to the bank and we are giving a draft to the customer, and what is the relationship between the bank? Bank is the debtor. Customer is giving money to us. So we are the creditor. Customer is the creditor and we are the debtor. Banks are the debtor. When we are paying the draft at the paying banks and the paying the payee who is approaching the bank with the draft is called, bank is the trustee and customer is the beneficiary, because they are entrusted us to pay to the payee when he is coming with that DD. That is, we are the trustees, bankers are the trustees and they are the beneficiaries. Telegraphic transfers or NEFT, RTGS, etc. They are entrusting us to pay and we are the agent, they are the principal. The money belongs to them, so they are the principal, we are the agents. Standing instruction we are doing as agents, they are the principal. So then another thing, so a check is deposited with the bank, whether they have not given any instruction or not, then it is for trustee. When we are sending it for collection, the relationship will change, agent principal, but it is not disposing. They are telling nothing and we are handing over the check, then we are trustee, they are the beneficiary. As you are aware that safe deposit articles or safe custody articles we are keeping, question papers or some bundles we are keeping. So we are the bailee, they are the bailer. They have bailed, they have given that to us and we are keeping in our strong room, etc. That is bailee. We are the bailee. Bankers are the bailee, they are the bailer. But in the locker case, you see, we are leasing our locker. So we are the lessor, so they are the lessee. They are taking as rent. So then we are giving us, we are the licensor. We can say that licensor, licensee also, or lessor, lessee also. When the property is mortgaged property, mortgage of immovable property, banks are mortgagees. They are the mortgager. Who is doing mortgage is mortgager. A bank is mortgage. So pledging goods, gold ornament, shares, etc. We are pledgee, they are pledger. Customers are pledger. Hypothecatee, on hypothecation, we are getting it. Hypothecatee, we are hypothecatees, they are hypothecator. Then sale purchase of shares, etc. Also, we are agents, they are trustees. So when credit balance in CC account, actually balance is on credit like deposit. So bank is debtor, customer is creditor. Then another thing is wrong credit given. So beneficiary, trustee. Who are the trustee? Who are the beneficiary? Wrong credit given by bank where the amount has not been recovered. So bank is the beneficiary. So we are wrongly credited to some other's account. So we are the beneficiary to do whose account we have credited. They are called trustees. So these are the banker-customer relationship. Then bank as an agent also. Bank can act as an agent of his customer. So we are acting as an agent for collection of checks, tax services, payment of telephone bills, etc. In all these cases, we have to keep the secrecy also. Account of customer in the books of bank records, all are financial dealings with the customer. So we have to keep the secrecy of the customer's details and account details. Bank is under a statutory obligation. That is, we are calling it a statutory obligation to disclose the information relating to customer's account. So we can disclose in certain exigencies when the police authorities are coming, income tax authorities are coming, sale tax authorities are coming, and they are informing us to give. They are asking us details of the account. Then we can give. So that is the thing. So these are the main points on banker customer guidelines. Then another thing is know your customer guidelines. Know your customer guidelines. Several questions will be coming. So customers, KYC, know your customers. As you know, we have passed the Anti-Money Laundering Act in 2002, and periodically we are modifying. So KYC established the identity and the residential address of the customer. Identity of the customer and residential address of the customer. For that purpose, we are taking officially valid document. KYC guidelines are also reinforce the existing practice. Earlier, we are taking introduction from the customer, one of the customers or account holders, and we are opening account. So after the KYC guidelines introduced in 2005, account opening introduction is not mandatory, but ID proof, that is identity of the customer and residential address proof, is essential. And we will take the photograph also. No account is opened in anonymous, fictitious or benami names. That is the main aim behind the KYC procedure. No account is opened in anonymous names, fictitious names. Bank will not open an account or close an existing account. Bank is unable to verify the identity. If you are not able to verify, any party is asking to close, then also we have to see whether any transaction is coming in the account is fraudulent. Obtaining documents required due non-cooperation of customer. So sometimes we can, even though they are not giving, we can go to the site of income tax or some other Uday, etc. If they are authorizing us, we can take their ID proof. So customer identification procedure is one of the main activities we have to do. Customer identification means identifying the customer and verifying the identity. Not only obtaining the copy of his Aadhaar card or something, but you have to verify with their respective sites. The customer due diligence checking is very, very important. Customer due diligence checking is very, very important. So customer identification record, say for a trust, nominee or fiduciary accounts continuously opening by some of the vested interests. Existing possibility of trust or nominee or fiduciary account can be used for money laundering. Actually, the aim behind this PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, is to curtail using bank accounts for money laundering and terrorist financing. Bank should insist on receipt of satisfactory evidence on identity of the customer. Trustees also, trust deed should be there and we should verify. Account of companies and firms. Bank need to be vigilant against business entities, that is the account of companies. So statutory company, private limited company, public limited company, details of their memorandum of association, articles of association, etc. we have to verify. So professional intermediaries also we have to see. മധ്യസ്ഥന്മാരെന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്ന പൂൾഡ് അക്കൗണ്ട്, പ്രൊഫഷണൽ ഇൻ്റർമീഡിയറീസ് ഓൾസോ. സോ പൊളിറ്റിക്കലി എക്സ്പോസ്ഡ് പേഴ്സൺ, ദാറ്റ് is risk, low risk customers, those whose income can be verified, checked or declared income is sufficient to see that he is a normal person, low income group or employee or any businessman. Okay, normally low income group, then middle income group, then that is low risk, medium risk, high net worth individuals, etc. medium risk, then high risk customers, one of them politically exposed person. Politically exposed person are individuals who are or who has been entrusted prominent public function, foreign countries, a head of state of government, രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ അധികാരി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സീനിയർ പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻസ്, ജുഡീഷ്യൽ മിലിറ്ററി സർവീസസ്, എക്സിക്യൂട്ടീവ്, സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഓൺ കോർപ്പറേഷൻ ഹെഡ്സ്, പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടി ഒഫീഷ്യൽസ്. ബാങ്ക് ഷുഡ് gather sufficient information on the income of these persons. Then now it is coming to account of non-face-to-face customers, those who are opening account online. If you are opening account online, what is the procedure we have to take? Now that is video-based KYC. You will ask the party to be in his residence, in front of his residence at a particular time. You can do a video call to the customer and you can take photograph, you can talk to them, and it will be recorded, and you can identify the face of the customer and the Aadhaar card he is holding and PAN card he is holding, and the AI of your software will identify whether through the retina, etc., whether the person and the ID proof is the ID proof is of the same person. So that it will be identified through AI technology. In case of cross-border transaction, foreign transaction, additional difficulty matching the customer documentation. There also we have to take all the measures to take, that is passport, etc., for non-face-to-face customers. Based on no frill accounts, zero balance accounts. Zero balance accounts, we can, normally we are opening small accounts, basic savings bank accounts for them. For that purpose, if you are not able to provide any KYC documents, we can open account for the customer. So that is, the limitations are there. That is, maximum credit in a year should not be more than 1 lakh, and balance at any time the account should not be more than 50,000, and the party can draw only 10,000 per month. That is the stipulation for basic savings bank account, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്താ പറയുക, PMJDY account, പ്രധാൻ മന്ത്രി ജൻധൻ യോജന account. In this type of account, the limitations are there, and if they produce the full KYC, we can convert into normal SB account. While opening accounts of these customers, you can verify all these things. Then account of companies. What are the requirements for proof of KYC? See, certificate of incorporation, memorandum and articles of association, resolution of board directors to open the account, power of attorney if you are giving to managers or somebody to act, PAN allotment in the name of the company and as well as the operators of the account, partnership forms, registration certificate if registered partnership, registration certificate is necessary, partnership deed, the agreement between them, power of attorney granted to a partner or employee to transact the account. Then you officially valid document of the persons who are holding the attorney, those who are opening the account or operating the account. Telephone, all the KYC of all the partners are required for opening the account. Partners, because they are jointly and severally liable. അവർ ഒറ്റയ്ക്കും കൂട്ടായും അവർ ലയബിളാണ്. ട്രസ്റ്റ് ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക? ട്രസ്റ്റി ആൻഡ് ഫൗണ്ടേഷൻ, സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് ഓഫ് രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ട്രസ്റ്റ് രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ സർട്ടിഫിക്കറ്റ് or trust deed, power of attorney granted to transact the business, and other officially valid documents. So likewise we can say that specimen signature, we will take the specimen signature of the customer, specimen signature of the customer. Specimen signature of the customer is obtained on account opening form. We will keep it, we will scan it, and we will check the signature. That is very, very important. Another thing is officially valid document. What are the officially valid document? Officially valid document. Officially valid document. Normally we are taking officially valid document: Aadhaar, passport, driving license, election ID, MGNREGS, തൊഴിലുറപ്പ് പദ്ധതി എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത് MGNREGS ID proof, and citizenship register or identification or the acknowledgement on registration of citizenship card. PAN card is not included in this officially valid document. For the name proof and address proof, single document is okay. That is called OVD, officially valid document. So officially valid document, we can keep the officially valid document and we can use these documents as for name proof and as well as ID proof. If address proof is not available in the officially valid document, we can ask to submit electricity bill or any other utility bill with address and name in the new address, water bill, electricity bill, BSNL bill, or village officers any certificate, or panchayat records, if any certificate or any proof is given for checking the address of the customer in the new address, we can take it. So these are the points we are discussing in KYC. Then another point we are going to discuss here, bankers relationship, banker customer relationship. Banker customer relationship, here banker special relationship. Normally banker customer relationship we have discussed some garnishee order and attachment order. What is garnishee order? Garnishee order is issued by a court to block some amount in the account of a customer. Creditor, ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരാളിന് പൈസ കൊടുത്തു, അയാൾ പൈസ തിരിച്ചു കൊടുത്തില്ല, ഇയാൾ അക്കൗണ്ടിൽ പൈസ ഉണ്ട്, അയാൾക്ക് കോടതിയിൽ പോയിട്ട് ഒരു ഗാർണിഷി ഓർഡർ വാങ്ങിക്കാം. ഗാർണിഷി ഓർഡറിൽ കോടതി ആദ്യം പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ കൊടുക്കാണ്ടെന്ന് തെളിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കോടതി പറയുകയാണ് ഇദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അക്കൗണ്ടിൽ ബാലൻസ് എത്ര ചോദിക്കും, നമ്മളത് ഡീറ്റെയിൽ കൊടുക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യം ഒരു എൻക്വയറി അയക്കും, അതിൻ്റെ പേരാണ് ഗാർണിഷി ഓർഡർ. ആദ്യം അയക്കുന്നത് ഓർഡർ നിസി എന്നും പറയും, ഓർഡർ NISI, നിസി. Say garnishee order is issued in two parts. First, court directs the banker to stop payment out of the amount, whatever amount. When you are getting the garnishee order at 10:30 AM, see what is the balance in his account, you can block. Suppose there is 70,000, garnishee order for 30,000, you can block 30,000. If it is 25,000, you can mark 25,000 and inform the court only 25,000 is available. But you cannot, after the time you are receiving, after 2 hours or 1 hour or in the day or next day, any amount is coming in that account, it cannot be attached. So garnishee order amount attach ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത് അത് കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്തുള്ള ബാലൻസിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യം കോടതിയിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ഓർഡർ നിസി ആയിരിക്കും, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് വരുന്ന രണ്ടാമത്തെ ഓർഡറിൻ്റെ പേര് ഓർഡർ അബ്സൊല്യൂട്ട്. After banker files his explanation, the court may issue the final order to block the amount, that is called order absolute. Where the entire balance in the account are specified in the amount attached can be handed over to, debit it and given to judgment creditor. And we will transfer as the direction of the court, and we will transfer. On receipt of such an order, bank is bound to pay the garnishee funds. ഈ ഗാർണിഷ്ഡ് ഫണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പേ ചെയ്യണം. Thereafter, bank liable towards the customer for discharge of his extent. Then we can continue the transaction after that. That is called garnishee order. Attachment order, attachment or income tax attachment order, sale tax attachment order എല്ലാം വരികയാണെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ എന്താ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയുക? അറ്റാച്ച് ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് അതോറിറ്റീസ് default of tax due under, we are attaching under section 226(3) of Income Tax Act. 226(3) bracket 3 of Indian Income Tax Act 1961. They can ask the banker to block the amount. So, income tax order to recur by notice in writing. It should be in writing by any person from the authority. Money is due, may become due. അതാണ് ഇവിടെ ഒരു പ്രശ്നം. അറ്റാച്ച്മെൻറ്റ് ഓർഡറിൽ അത് കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്തിനും അതിന് ശേഷവും എന്തെങ്കിലും ക്രെഡിറ്റ് വരുന്നെങ്കിൽ അതും അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം എന്നാണ് നിയമം. കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്ത് മാത്രമല്ല, അതിന് ശേഷം വരുന്ന എമൗണ്ടും നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം. ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് അറ്റാച്ച്മെൻറ്റ് ഓർഡറിൽ. ഗാർണിഷി ഓർഡറിൽ അങ്ങനെയല്ല. കിട്ടുന്ന സമയത്ത് എത്ര എമൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ടോ അത് സഫിഷ്യൻ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഉള്ളത് അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. സോ ദസ് ദി ഓർഡർ ഓഫ് ഇൻകം ടാക്സ് may attach any debts due and payable. Any debts due and payable. 1. Debts due but not payable on the date of receipt. അന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല, പിന്നെ വരുന്നുള്ളൂ. Any amount received subsequently also can be attached in attachment order. But in garnishee order, subsequent credits cannot be attached. Balance lied in the joint account also may be attached. Joint അക്കൗണ്ടിൽ വരുന്നത് നമുക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം. അതാണ് അതിനകത്തുള്ള നിയമം. ദ ഷെയർ ഓഫ് ദി ജോയിൻറ്റ് ഹോൾഡേഴ്സ് ഇൻ സച്ച് അക്കൗണ്ട് ഷാൽ ബി പെർസ്യൂംഡ് അണ്ടിൽ the order is there. Say, thus the amount of the credit of joint account may be attached pro rata, irrespective. Say 50%, if a joint account of 2%, we can attach